Why is a clinical trial advantageous, and who do you see as the ideal candidate to really be involved in a clinical trial?
It's a great question, and I'm always pleased when this topic comes up, because the bottom line is we have not cured prostate cancer in every man. True? I mean, if you say this problem no longer exists, then we really don't need to advance anything. Then we're done. Actually, we'll be out of a job and driving around in those nice cars, which would be very nice. But unfortunately, we're still having to show up to work and find out that, you know, there are lots of things to try to help those who are still dying from this disease or suffering from the disease or the effects of the treatment to help the disease. So a clinical trial is really the only way to properly move the science forward. So you're not going to take Dr. Lutz's word for it, although he's very credible. You're not going to take my word for it. You're going to take a well-designed trial where thousands of men show up, and the answer is, you know, not debatable that this drug now works to help prolong life. Let me ask a poll question. I'll turf it back to our audience. What's the percentage of people, we'll take both men and women, in the United States who actually participate in a clinical trial? Those patients with cancer, any cancer. Yeah, it's actually 3 to 5%. And then you wonder why it takes so long for research to finish up. Let's say all the laboratory studies that we do, all the way to FDA, stamping their stamp to say, yep, you're now cleared for a new treatment for this cancer. How long do you think that process takes? Give a guess. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. 20 years? 12 to 15 years and a couple of $1 billion. That's how long it takes, and that's how much money. So that's from the bench when we're pipetting things and looking at mice, to looking at toxicology studies and looking at sort of monkeys and bigger animals, to then putting it first in human and seeing what the toxicities are, all the way up to thousands of men and those who are going to be benefiting from that. And you're always surprised. You're just always surprised. So for example, there are new drugs that now target the pathway to try to get the androgens, or basically your hormones, to be able to kick back in, and you get some effect even if you have disease that's metastatic. Well, we just found out, like from a press release a couple of days ago, that one of those cousin drugs that have been now in large clinical trials and internationally and nationally, their results didn't pan out. They had to shut down the trial. Something that seems intuitive, that should have been positive, is not. And you would not have known that if you didn't do the trials. So it is critical at any juncture that you're at least considered for one. Now the standard most of the time is perfectly great, and we offer standard treatment all the time. But if there's something new, then I think that the patient needs to know that at least it's an option, so that he can make the decision for himself with your help.